Alright, so if you're new to AJATT and you kind of know what it's about, like you know all the stuff about it, but you don't really know where to start, then this video is going to be for you. So basically, the basics with this, right? Assuming you kind of, like you're motivated to do this, you know about AJATT, but do you really know what you're going into, right? So if you're going to do true AJATT, right, this is going to mean like having passive listening on 27. Like I have a bunch of Hiroyuki live streams on a playlist that I have running 24/7, right? It's always going on in the background. A lot of AJATTers will say that if there's like a second in the day where you're not getting input, like whether it's hearing Japanese, reading Japanese, then that second is wasted, right? So that's the kind of mindset that a lot of people who do AJATT have, for example, right? So true AJATT, it's very like all or nothing, right? And that's why it works well. But if you're gonna do this for like 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, right, that's probably not sustainable for most people, right? So I'm definitely not gonna just recommend that you straight up go from nothing to suddenly doing like 8 hours of immersion a day, passive listening all the time, because it's just not gonna work. Like most things, the key really is to build a habit first, get consistent in it, and then worry about all the nuances of, well, what's the best way to immerse, like what's the best method, what app should I use, all that other stuff, right? So the best thing to do here is just to build the habit first, get consistent, and then worry about all that other stuff after that, right? The most important part is that you're actually doing, the work, right? You're actually doing the immersion. So I'm gonna get to later what to actually put your time and focus into, but the most important part, like I said, is just that you're actually doing it. So I made a walking video like a while ago that I was talking about this, about refold versus AJATT, my kind of thoughts on this. And both immersion methods work very well. Neither of them don't work, right? But it's just that the main difference here is that from what I've seen, the people who do AJATT seem to usually kind of revolve their entire life around Japanese, getting as much input in Japanese, right? And they discipline themselves to kind of see Japanese, like to like be in Japanese the most, right? And see English as little as possible. So as someone who's really into refold before going fully into AJATT, right, more of what you see in refold is kind of people who are immersing like 1 hour a day, and their goal is like maybe they just want to watch anime or something, right? So I'd say that if you want to immerse, and you just want to know, maybe like all the benefits about AJATT, right, but it seems a little too extreme for you, then just go with refold. Like there's really nothing wrong with doing 1 hour of immersion a day, right? Everyone's situation and goals are different, so it's really just about kind of clearly defining your goal, right? Do you just want to watch anime, or do you want to, in 2 years time, move to Japan and be able to understand everything, right? So there's nothing wrong with 1 hour of immersion a day, but it's really just about picking the one that benefits your goal more. So basically, this entire section, what I'm trying to say is that you know about AJATT, right? You know about, you've got like the motivation, right? Maybe you even have like a clear goal in your head, but there are some things to kind of consider before just doing like passive listening all that, because it gets really tiring, right? You burn out. Like I burned out hard earlier this year, right? So what to actually do, right? The active immersion. So this is how I started. The best beginner reading practice I can give you is watching the anime with the Japanese subtitles, right? So some of the best advice I can really give you is just to read more, right? But the reason you use anime and pause is so that you can pause it, right? Comprehend it, and then you're going to play it and then listen to the actual sound. So it's not just like pure reading, like if you're reading like a light novel or something, you actually get the audio input too. You hear the words, you build more of that listening, right? So if you watch this channel, you'll know that especially a lot since I've been in Japan, I've been recommending manga. But if you're just starting out, just stick with the anime and the subtitles, right? That's how I studied for like 6 months. I only did this for like 6 months, and it worked pretty well. So not really much to say here, but go slow, reread things. If you don't get it, try again. Like really think about the context that you're seeing it in, right? Like why did the writer choose to use this line, right? Like what's going on with the other characters around. Like really kind of just use every brain cell you got, you know what I'm saying? And then when you go to look up a words, you've got pop-up dictionaries, right? Like we live in the best time to learn a language, so use the monolingual one first. Don't understand it, go to the English one. But it's generally a lot better to just watch an anime that you've already seen in English, because you know the plot, the characters, you know how it's going to play out, right? So once you kind of see all that in Japanese, it's going to be a lot easier for you. And then the last thing for just getting started with AJATT is, obviously the free flow and the passive immersion, right? So what I mean by free flow is just like anime with subtitles, right? Just the same thing as before, right? Watching the anime with the subtitles, or without, right? If you want to just strain listening, and then you don't pause, right? You just have it going on. Because with this, if I can go back, right? This is like, as soon as you see the subtitle, you pause, read it, comprehend it, and then play it, right? And you do that for every single subtitle. But for this free flow, it's just, you're just watching it, right? You've got the subtitles. And then passive listening, right? This will make or break your AJATT. In my opinion, passive listening is probably the one thing that separates refold and AJATT the most, right? Because refold, they'll tell you to passive listen, but AJATT takes passive listening to a much different level, in my opinion, right? So always have like a podcast or something on, like get your playlist, download a bunch of audio and stuff, condensed audio, and then just, if you want to go the extra mile, right, phone in Japanese, PC in Japanese, all that good stuff, right? So I hope this video helped you a little bit, cleared some things up regarding AJATT, and yeah, you can definitely do it as long as you've got the discipline and the patience. Like, it's possible. You can become an AJATTer. So yeah.